Did you know that based on 2020 figures, on average, 1 million people in Europe are going to be experiencing back pain today? Are you one of them? Hi, Dr. Sandhu here from Bedford Chiropractic Clinic. Today I want to sort of talk about back pain. The figures that I've got are 2020 figures. That is the most accurate figure that I can give you. And 61.9 million people in 2020 experienced some kind of back pain. Of course, those people who reported it, there are millions of people out there who don't report back pain when they experience it. And of course, these people are people who potentially are living with it for weeks, months, years. Over the 25 years that I've been treating chiropractic patients, I have had patients who've had it for a couple of days to patients who've had low back pain for nearly 20 years. So it's not an accurate figure, but 61.9 million people, which is the figure approximately in 2020, and they are predicting 850 million up to 2050. We're looking at back pain being an epidemic, and you potentially are one of those. But what can you do about it? Well, let me tell you that there is a lot that you can do, and I'm going to give you some very useful tips today, so hang around for those tips, and I'll give you a bonus at the end as well. So, the first thing that we want to look at is your posture. Your posture is key to the pressure that you put on your neck, your shoulders, and your back. If you are standing like this, and trust me, everybody does, right? All my patients that come in have awful postures, and that is something that is inherently learnt by watching other people and just by being, unfortunately, we as human beings are inherently lazy as well, and we tend to take the most, what we consider the most comfortable position. But if you actually touch somebody in their shoulders and in their neck, I can assure you it's not comfortable at all. The muscles are really, really tight. So one of the things we want to do is we want to soften our knees, because when we if we lock our knees out, we're going to be falling forwards. But if we soften our knees, immediately the body sort of wants to come back and our center of gravity changes. So that's the first thing, is posture. Really, really important. The next thing that we want to do is we want to open our shoulders and open our hands so that we're opening up in here. And that is going to take a lot of stress and tension out of the upper part of our shoulders and our neck as well. And then, of course, we want to keep the chin level to the ground. So this is how you should be looking from the side, not like this. So work on that one, posture. Now, another reason that we get to the back pain is because of muscle strain. So for some of you, you go to the gym and you think you're doing yourself some good, but what happens is you do a deadlift, but you haven't stretched the really important muscle that you need to stretch, which is your hip flexor, psoas. Wait a moment and we're going to show you some stretches that are going to help that, okay? Now, if you haven't stretched that, then what's going to happen is when you strain and you use that muscle to lift that weight up, because you're locking everything up in here, that muscle is going to go bang. And it is the only muscle that attaches into the discs of the lumbar spine, so you're in trouble now, because now you have just created a strain of your lumbar spine. And if you keep doing that, just not sort of suddenly because of a muscle spasm or muscle strain because you've lifted something up too heavy, or you've reached out too much, or you've slept awkwardly, or you've gone down a pothole, which there are numerous in this country at least, or you've sort of slipped on something. Any of those muscle strains will cause you a strain in your back, giving you back pain. Another one that will give you back pain is something like sitting awkwardly in front of a computer all day long. And regrettably, the majority of the population these days are office-based. We don't walk enough, we don't move our bodies enough. Manual labor is getting less, and sitting in front of an office, sitting in front of a computer at an office is becoming much more prevalent as a normal job for people. And of course, when we sit, what we do is we have to do this. Our spine has to change, our pelvic girdle has to loosen up, the sacrum has to move underneath so we can sit. And then of course, we change this beautiful curve in our spine and we put up to 3,000% more stress into our spine. And that is something that we do from 6, 7, 8 10, 12 hours sometimes. Because one of the other mistakes that people make is we sit too long. We are not made for sitting. We're made for foraging, for hunting, for gathering, and for moving. We should actually be resting by squatting, not sitting on a chair with our sort of knees over our hips. So get up. If you are one of these people who's working in an office, make sure that you have good back support in your back so that your spine is supported. And secondly, make sure that you get up every 40 to 50 minutes. So what have we got? We've got posture, we've got muscle strain, lifting up something heavy when your muscles are tight. Sitting, ergonomic, sitting in front of a computer all day long. So that's another problem. Another problem is your mental state, okay? Now let me just let that sink in there. Your mental state. Now if you're angry, if you're stressed, if you're frustrated, what does your body naturally want to do? It wants to tense up, and it has been proven. There's a beautiful book by one of my heroes, Dr. Bruce Lipton, an incredible, incredible man, and it's called The Biology of Belief. The Biology of Belief. Do please check it out. And in that book, he talks about how every single thought that you create in your head creates a massive amount of chemicals that flush your body. Think about it. If you are thinking about nice things, love, 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 happiness, everything is going well in the world, your body just feels lighter, it feels good, it feels nice. But if you're thinking about, oh my gosh, the tax bill's coming, the budget was awful, you know, what are we going to do tomorrow for food, all of that, you can see what my body naturally just wants to do. I'm holding tension, I'm creating tension. And that's all to do with the chemicals that I have created with every thought. So our emotional state has an incredible effect on our backs. So believe it or not, your mind, your thoughts can give you back pain. So be conscious of what you're thinking. We have 640,000 thoughts in our heads every single day. 90% of them or more are generally negative. Now, how that was worked out was in a really clever experiment where what they did was in a university campus, they got the students to write down if they were thinking a positive thought or a negative thought every 15 minutes. And lo and behold, over 90% of those thoughts were negative, and they weren't alone. You, unfortunately, are in that category as well, as am I. But as I'm now more conscious of it, I am becoming much more thoughtful about my thoughts. Make sense? So what I'm doing is I'm aware of my thoughts. So I'm thinking, well, actually, no, that is not true. You know, the budget isn't going to destroy my business, okay? Because I can do this and this and this. So I choose not to think that. I choose to think this instead, okay? So you are in control of your thoughts. Don't let your thoughts be in control of you. So emotion. So we got sort of posture. We got muscle strain, lifting up something heavy without warming up, without sort of getting your body ready for it. Ergonomics, the way you sit, the way we sit down in our cars, in office. We don't move enough. We need to move our bodies more. We need to get up more. And of course, emotions. Now, all of those are really, really important. And in line with emotions is nutrition. Now, if you don't have the right nutrition, if you are not having enough vitamin D, enough vitamin C, antioxidants, if you're not having enough fish oil, omega-3 fats, good quality fats, you're eating too much rubbish, then you can potentially affect your body. Well, you will affect your body, and you could potentially give you back pain. How does that work? Well, you're going to create inflammation, and inflammation will create a muscle tightness in your back. So that could result in it. It could also be that you're going to put more weight on because you're not eating you're not eating the right foods, you're going to gain weight, and you're going to create more of an anterior weight carriage, which is going to put more stress on the facets, which is part of your lumbar spine joint. So that's another reason for being conscious of what we eat as well. Be careful about what you put in here, because it has an effect. Just as this has an effect, what you put in here has an effect as well. So what can you do about it? Let's talk about that. Well, it's such simple things. We've briefly mentioned posture. Okay, so posture is really important. Soft knees, shoulders back, keep your chin level, and keep everything relaxed. Don't tense up. Muscle strain. Be conscious of what you're doing when you're lifting something up. Don't lift with your back. Use your legs. Your legs are much more powerful. And do some stretches. Now you're going to see some video footage of some exercises, and one of them is a squat. To build the glute muscles. Another one is a psoas, a hip flexor stretch. To stretch your hips to here. Another one is the plank, which can be made into a cat-cow. Cat-cow, so that you're actually sort of flexing and moving the spine. The Mackenzie stretch, which is like a cobra in yoga, is really good as well, because what are we doing? We're actually just hydrating and moving these wonderful, wonderful, beautiful joints in here that allow you to do the most incredible things that your body does. So these exercises will follow in a little video. So that's your getting muscle, avoiding muscle strain. Ergonomics. Sit properly, use a back support. Make sure that your screen is high. Your eyes should not be at the top of the screen. They should not be in the center of the screen. Your eyes should be at the bottom of the screen. Because if they're at the bottom of the screen, what are you automatically going to want to do? You're going to want to get your head back, putting your neck in that God-given natural shape, which is where it's designed to be. So that's really, really important. So we've gone over ergonomics. Now the next thing, of course, emotions. Now I mentioned to you already, just being more conscious, be more aware of what you're thinking, and of course be conscious of what you're putting into your body as far as nutrition is concerned. Now, I mentioned a bonus to you at the beginning, and I'm going to keep my promise. So my bonus, now the majority of us really will struggle to go and to the gym in the mornings or in the evenings and find that 20-30 minutes out of our day to do that. Well, there's a big sort of school of thought out there now where they are calling it the 2-minute snack, the 2-minute snack, right? And what they are referring to is where for 2 minutes, what you do is you do some exercise, and it can be anything. It can be just simply just do some squats, just 2 minutes, do some squats. But of course you don't do it for 2 minutes, right? Because most of us are not going to be able to do that initially. You do like 30 seconds, have a 5-second, this is what I personally do. I do a 30 seconds and I take a 5-second break, another 30 seconds, do a 5-second break, another 30 seconds, do a 5-second break. And I do that for 2 minutes. But then what I also do is I do that multiple times in the day, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 8 times in the day. But I vary the exercise. So I will do kettlebells. I'll do a kettlebell swing for 2 minutes. All right. I will also, in that 2 minutes, I may not just do a kettlebell swing. I may do it with both arms, one arm. I may just do a goblet squat as well. So just use your imagination. Do something active, moving your body for 2 minutes. It can just be star jumps. It can just be running on the spot. Okay, just use your imagination. So there you go. There's a bonus. It's called a 2-minute snack, 2-minute exercise snack. And if you can do that multiple times in the day, it has been shown to be much, much more beneficial than doing like a 20-30 minutes in the morning or in the evening when we just can't find that time anyway, and we're going to find some excuse not to do that. Hopefully you won't find an excuse to miss the 2-minute snack. Okay, so there you go. Do not be one of these sufferers of low back pain. On average, about 1 million people a day in Europe are experiencing back pain at this moment. Are you one of them? If you are, then please go and see a chiropractor near you. If you're in the Bedfordshire community, then give me a call. Dr. Sandhu, Bedford Chiropractic Clinic, here to help you. 25 years experience, best chiropractor in Bedford. And I'm not saying that lightly. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to encourage you to please, if you found some value in here, do share this. Share this with somebody, right? Because it's useful information. Would you not agree? And share it and also like it. Because what that does is it shows YouTube that I made some good content. I know I did, right? But YouTube needs to know that as well. So if you click the like button and then watch some other videos, there are some other videos. We've got a huge playlist. Right, we've got about 400 plus videos on our YouTube channel. Please have a look, right? Because there's some other incredible information, just like you've heard today. Also follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Facebook, because we've got some really good information. My goal is to help you help yourself. And that's what it's all about, because there is no greater wealth than health. Dr. Sandhu, signing out today, and God bless you. Look after yourself.